Hello guys, welcome to another exciting video from eMotion. In this video today, we bring you a major update. Apple and Lucid Motors might just partner up to build a self-driving electric car. So without any further ado, let's dive into the details. The Apple car, like the rest of Apple's closely guarded projects, has been the subject of rumors for quite some time now. Since rumors of an Apple-produced automobile first surfaced some years ago, reports of trade deals, industry collaborations, and vehicle specifications have circulated, and the tech company, famed for its tight-lipped operations, has been eager to dispel false information as soon as it gained hold. We know Apple is working on an autonomous vehicle project codenamed Project Titan, not least because the company continues to employ for positions that appear to be specialized in automotive research, but there are still a lot of unresolved issues. Will it be an Apple car, technology that we can incorporate into our own automobiles, or hardware and software that's licensed to third-party car manufacturers? Could it even be part of a service run by Apple to transport us around in driverless cars? At the moment, it appears to be the former. However, immediate production prospects have remained idle due to Apple's failure to find a suitable automobile manufacturing partner. In this guide, we'll go over all the most recent Apple car news, rumors, leaks, and updates, as well as what we can expect to see when Silicon Valley's most awaited automotive project finally hits the road. Let's get right to the point. 1. What exactly is it? Apple's long-rumored car, which might be self-driving, has finally been confirmed. 2. When will it be available? To cut a long tale short, no one knows. 3. How much will it set you back? Right now, little is known, but expect a high price tag. Apple car release date. Long story short, nobody knows. That's because Apple hasn't decided on a car manufacturer to collaborate with on the project, and the question of which car brand to work with has been a hot topic of discussion among the Apple car community. Given the current impasse in partnership discussions, details of which can be found below, Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo recently said that the Apple car might not be released until 2028 or later, so prepare to wait a long time to see it on the road. Development of Apple cars. Apple was allegedly in negotiations with Volkswagen Group Volkswagen as early as May 2018 to build an autonomous staff shuttle van based on the T6 Transporter commercial vehicle, a program that was intended to lead to the creation of a mass-market Apple car. The cooperation between the two companies was stifled following a succession of high-profile test crashes and employee leaks, and little more was revealed on the subject. More recently, we thought the tech giant was in promising talks with Hyundai regarding production of the autonomous electric vehicle. Then there were reports that Apple had inked a production agreement with Hyundai's sister business Kia to bring the Apple car to market as early as 2024. However, in true Apple style, another rumor surfaced claiming that Apple had stopped discussions with both Hyundai and Kia and that the company had instead turned its focus to a number of Japanese automakers in order to ultimately realize its ambitious electric vehicle goals. The Financial Times reports that communication was brief and the negotiations did not proceed to higher management levels following differences over branding, implying that Apple approached Nissan as one of these possible Japanese manufacturing partners. In 2021, it appears like Apple is still looking for a project partner. However, it's unsurprising that collaboration has been a stumbling block for the firm. Despite being largely regarded as the world's most successful company, Apple's strength is in technology development, not automotive manufacturing. That implies it will require assistance from a third party, but it appears that the automakers are hesitant to become a big part supplier, as Foxconn is to Tesla, on a vehicle that would ultimately wear the Apple name. Apple and LG Electronics are reported to be working together. According to a report in the Korea Times, Apple is very close to reaching an agreement with the South Korean tech giant, which recently exited the smartphone industry to focus on resources on growth areas where its brand is stronger, such as electric vehicle components. LG isn't a brand name in the auto industry, but neither is Apple, so this common ground might be the deciding factor in Apple's ongoing search for a partner on the project. However, talks are still ongoing, and new rumors claim Apple is in talks with Chinese battery producer CATL, who, like Foxconn, already has Tesla as a customer, to build the Apple car's power source. However, a deal might hinge on China's willingness to construct manufacturing facilities in the United States, and current political tensions between Washington and Beijing are likely to be a stumbling block. According to a recent Korea Times report, Apple executives met with Korean EV component makers in August, including CATL and LG, so we might hear formal word on the subject in the coming months. Lucid Motors, an electric car manufacturer based in the United States, has also surfaced as a prospective collaborator. In addition to sharing a similar design philosophy that emphasizes producing premium, innovative products, Lucid Motors and Apple share another way: Jony Ive. Formerly the company's top designer, Ive is now an operational partner at a firm poised to combine with Lucid Motors, which means he'll have a voice in how the company operates in the future. Of course, this doesn't rule out the possibility that Apple will approach Lucid Motors in the near future, but if the tech giant opts to focus its efforts on EV software rather than a full-fledged vehicle, Apple CarPlay could be a compelling proposition for an automobile manufacturer looking to develop in-car integration systems for its own vehicles. Similarly, Lucid Motors may be able to provide Apple with the manufacturing infrastructure it requires to develop its electric vehicle aspirations, in whatever shape they take. In a recent interview, Apple CEO Tim Cook gave a tentative response to the issue of what form such ideas may take. Apple's integration of hardware, software, and services makes it sound like the company is planning to build a whole car. Ironically, the company's passion of controlling primary technology, as Cook implies, points to the company's major issue in finding a manufacturing partner for the project. Kevin Lynch, who is well known for directing the brand's Apple Watch business, is poised to take on the position of leading development on the Apple Car inside the company, according to Business Insider. Currently, the project is being led by John Giannandrea, Apple's AI and machine learning head, who took over for Bob Mansfield after the latter's retirement in 2020. Expectations and specifications for Apple cars. Despite the production impasse, the Apple Car project has been under ongoing development for several years, which means there are some semi-concrete speculations about the upcoming, perhaps fully electric car. The first is that it is self-contained. Following the problems with Volkswagen in 2018, it was rumored that Apple will focus on creating autonomous software for automobiles rather than an entire vehicle. Apple bought autonomous vehicle startup Drive.ai in June 2019, indicating that it is committed to making its vehicular debut, whether it be in its own vehicle, software for other vehicles, or an Apple transport service, driverless. Moreover, according to the job ad, Apple is searching for a radar test engineer whose duties would include developing autonomous systems. That would indicate that the reports that the Apple Car would be a self-driving car are true. While Apple makes every effort to keep its plans hidden, regulatory filings and patent requests do reveal some information about its operations. Patents include an in-vehicle system that alerts passengers about what an autonomous vehicle could do, as well as a car glass that can change its transparency and tint. Apple's attempt to incorporate technology that could fit into a single car window glass, allowing passengers to see out while being protected from anyone looking in, is suggested by the latter. Even more intriguing are the patent's alleged automation features, which include sensors that allow the window to change tint or reflectivity in reaction to external weather conditions, such as when the sun is beating down on the road. The point is that something's going on at Apple. We simply don't know what it is yet. It's apparent that the tech giant wants to be a significant player in the autonomous car space in the coming years, and it's also clear that it'll have to compete with manufacturers that already have the necessary vehicle experience to roll out a fleet of self-driving vehicles. It remains to be seen whether Apple is the first to unlock the code on autonomous car technology, but with a technical track record as illustrious as Apple's, you wouldn't put it past the company to create something truly revolutionary. What are your thoughts on the Apple and Lucid Motors potential partnership? Let us know in the comments below. And thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe for more such exciting content.